Hey everybody, hope you're well. Today I'm with Jan. Maybe you can introduce yourself, Jan.
Hey guys, my name is Jan Sladecko, and I'm a motion designer, as some of you may know. And I'm just now I'm privileged to be here on this podcast. I'm just trying to figure it out how it works because I just hear myself with a little bit delay. I don't know if it's normal, Maxim.
I think it's normal because you probably have the YouTube opened.
Yeah, let's meet. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was a little bit confused. I'm just like, oh, how does it recording? So sorry. So one more time. Yeah. So hey guys, lovely to be here. I'm really happy for Maxim invited me, and we'll see. We're gonna go through some of my work, some how I got into industry, and we will be freestyling today, and looking
Yeah,
forward to this conversation.
yeah, you just send me a little video. Maybe I can show it to the community. So let me know
Mm-hmm.
a bit more about this video.
Yeah, for sure. And I sent you the video. This is actually 3 years ago. It was like this just video from my presentation, which I was doing in Czech Republic. And in this video, I was kind of speaking about my work. And so I have like a bunch of snippets of my older work when I was starting, because some of my animations were when I was 13. I started playing with the Flash software, and even before I was doing animations in PowerPoint. So it's actually super primitive animations. Yeah. So if you're gonna play, if you skip a little bit through the beginning, that is like you can see like yeah, this is just the pictures from some of my animations, and in the middle you can actually see like one of them. So they were really brutal and just like a lot of blood and fighting, and because I was doing this kind of work, I just fell in love with animation, but I didn't know any other animators in Czech Republic. I was just messing around, and I was just doing this kind of like all crazy action things. And then I started playing with live action, After Effects and stuff like this, which you can see here. I actually can send you link for the video. It has over around 1.5 million views. It's like a crazy thing.
Oh yeah, send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. And yeah, so that was my beginning. I was just like playing with simple animations, and then after that I actually decided I would like to do more action things. So I went to company which does VFX for action movies, but my first movie was this kind of like puppet which you're looking right now, and it wasn't action at all. And after I think 1 year, I started working on the movie which was this one. It was Treasure Guards, and I started doing some motion design. It was my first experience with motion design. I was basically working on the movies, and in my free time, I was working on music videos, and it was a lot of actually live action stuff with After Effects. I didn't use Cinema 4D at all that time, and I think there was like maybe period of 3 years, and after that, I started working. This is like on this frame I'm actually showing, it's not really visible, but there is a Slady, Slejdy. That was my nickname. And I was hiding it in shorts, movies, and music videos, which I was working on. It was kind of like, well, signature, but then people start noticing it and too much, and I actually stopped using it. And here is just like some other animation. So I could like go on and comment on this video. It's like 7 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's great because it shows a lot of your journey. It's so nice to see that you start by little animation. I saw many by the past violent stickman animation, so it's really fun to see that you started with that kind of animation and then you jumped into more action, live footage, and
Yeah,
because
no, it was totally. I mean, I don't know how for you, but when I was like starting, there was like the CXO, there was like the stick animation figures, and for me, I was like following it, and I was like loving it, and
yeah.
so I was just like studying that. There was nothing else. There was like no motion grapher. There was no Cinema 4D community. There was no Nick Campbell. The video copilot was just in the beginning. Like it was like maybe had like one tutorials, two tutorials. So yeah, it was like different time, and I know actually a lot of people who started in Flash and with like simple animations, and now they are using Houdini or whatever.
Yeah, it moves so fast, even rendering and all that stuff. Like our job is changing really, really fast.
No, absolutely. It's this industry. When we born, it didn't exist, or when I born, it didn't exist. And just since I live, it's like changing so much. So who knows what's gonna be in like 10 years, 20 years. But so in this video, I'm kind of like was talking about my journey in 7 minutes. I was just like how I started with those kind of like super simple animations, which I did even more simple animations, but my computer burned really. I was like around 12, 13, and then I was working on this kind of TV idents, like rugby and tennis, and it was actually really, really fun projects. And basically after this video, roughly, this is like 2016. After that, I moved to Spain, and then I moved to United States, and started like a whole new journey.
Can you explain maybe why you moved? Is it to work in studios, or maybe you had more ideas in mind when you moved?
I mean, I was like since the beginning of the career, I was feeling I want to move up in some certain way. And I felt the Czech Republic was kind of small, and I thought it's like a really limited market. And even though I had like good friends and I was able working on quite interesting projects, I thought, okay, I want to see what is out there. I want to meet the best people in the industry. I want to like work on the most interesting projects. So I first moved to London actually, but the projects weren't so great as I was hoping. And so I was living there for a year and a half, and then I moved back to Czech Republic. And after that, I thought, okay, London wasn't like the best, but it's really interesting. I actually enjoy London. I really like it. And then I thought, really like one of the key places where things is happening is LA. There's like a lot of artists, a lot of great studios. So I thought, let's try it. So I moved here, 2 years and a half ago, basically.
And
Uh,
you're happy in LA right now?
I'm actually, I think I'm happy, but I'm not sure if I found what I was looking for. I can definitely explain like a longer way, but the you know there is a saying. I don't know if you know, grass is greener. It's
Yeah.
basically we always looking for something and always idealizing some other places and some other companies. And more I'm in industry and longer, I spoke with a lot of different people, and I met a lot of people in the top. I just realizing everything has cons and pros, and it really depends on which phase of your life you are. So I'm grateful when I was working in big companies. I was grateful when I was working in small companies, because all those experiences gave me something different. And same with the countries. I mean, I have really different lifestyle here than I had like in Spain or than I had in the UK. Um, so in general, in the United States, I am happy, but at the same time, it's really expensive. I'm missing a lot of part of the Europe. So it's um, it's like constantly kind of balancing in your life.
Yeah. I'm asking the question because maybe a lot of beginners are asking themselves, should I move to London? Should I move to Los Angeles? And I think it's great to have the feedback of someone who already make it.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who, for example, living in cheap countries. Like cheap, I mean like they are not so expensive for living, and they work remote for big companies to States or London and whatever, and you can make decent money, but and you don't have big expenses. And I think this is actually good what you can do. But this is like maybe more advanced if you're in career, because I think in the beginning it's actually great to meet people in person, and it's great to also when you're working with someone on site in the studio, you you can learn the techniques, and you can see they have different approaches, and they can give you their opinions really quickly. So you can really much faster progress as an artist. You can much faster get better and better. And also, I didn't speak English when I started, so me moving to London actually forced me to speak English and to get better in it and start networking. So I think it's overall important or not important, but it's definitely great, and I'm definitely glad I did it, because I know people who are hesitating and who stay in Czech Republic and who are thinking to do some step, but they for example never done it, and I don't think they will never do it, and this kind of like then thought in your head, should I do it? Maybe it's not, and now it's too late. I just didn't want to have, I didn't want to deal with it. I just wanted to, okay, let's try it, and if it's not for me, I can always come back home.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice to experience things and a lot of internal question, but I think everybody should test because once you test, you know if it's for you or not.
Yeah, no, totally. And it depends. I mean, it has cons and pros. It's uh, when you're traveling, you lose your family or friends, but you gain, not lose, but you lose the close touch. But then, I mean, you still have like you meet new people on the journey. So I, yeah, if you thinking about it, and if you're thinking about move to abroad, if you're thinking about take a school, or I don't know, I from my experience, I definitely recommend it, because I met like bunch of amazing people, and because of that, I, for example, now when I travel, I just came from Blend Festival in from Vancouver, and I already knew so many people from London, and some people I knew from LA, and I just like it's like snowball effect. It's just like you getting more and more people know, and then when you travel, you can travel around the world, which is fun by itself, and you always like meet in different places, like some people you know, or you have some friends in common, and it really open your like, horizon, or like the
Yeah, yeah, I see. I totally see what you mean, and I'm totally agree. And it's a small connected world. Motion design is not that big when you see everybody at the same events. You realize that we are not that much really active. That's my feeling. That's my feeling. Do you think?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to figure out, is it sorry for interruption, is my camera works or doesn't work? I'm kind of confused.
Uh, I think I can see you. We just see your
Yeah,
black and white picture.
yeah. um I don't know if I'm supposed to turn it on somehow. mm,
You have a small icon on the.
yeah, I'm trying to find it. Hangout.
By the
Maybe I need to.
way, if anybody have some question, feel free to leave them in the live chat, and I think Jan will be really glad to answer the community question. So do not hesitate to type a little word, or if you have any question, just type.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I will open the chat, and sorry, now if you could repeat the last question, were you asking me one more time? So I was trying to figure out my camera, so I didn't.
Yeah, no worry. I even lost the track myself.
Okay.
Um, maybe we can talk a little bit about your latest animation because all the things we saw was from a few years ago. So maybe we can talk about um, the latest things you've made and what pushed you into 3D because you seems really active in 3D. And actually, I discovered you with I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago with the small 3D works you made. So can you
Mhm.
explain
Yeah,
that
yeah, no,
change?
for sure. I mean, as I already said, after school, because on the school I was doing a lot of action videos, and after school, I I start playing more with motion design, and I start realizing that After Effects kind of limiting me in many ways, and I want to start playing with 3D. So I start doing like motion design, then I start traveling, and basically now it was a couple of years when I was doing the commercials. I was doing commercials and TV idents, like all what we can see now Instagram, like my older stuff there. There are usually like all kind of like ident spots. But then what happened? I started working in a company where I maybe shouldn't say it loud, but let's say I wasn't feeling fulfilled too much.
Mm-hmm.
So after work, basically when finished, I started working on my personal projects, and I start using render farms. So a lot of my new works are actually from the transition when I start working my personal stuff after work.
Yeah.
And
Maybe we can just play few of your latest videos. I'm sorry because I don't know how to mute the Instagram sound, so maybe we need to let your videos explain with
yeah,
some.
yeah, I don't know how to put the sound, but yeah, I mean, I don't know which one you want to start. If you want to start with the latest one,
Yeah, I will start with the few latest one, maybe the latest one. So let's display it.
should I wait till it's finished? Just play. So those videos are basically like kind of like really playful word. I was always enjoying this kind of like small words and like to see the micro stories in it. And even when there's like this pixel art and people doing the big posters and they're like showing this, there's like a lot of stuff happening always. So I thought, let's try to do something which is gonna be really playful. And I see there's like a lot of trends happening with the loop animation. So I thought, let's try do loop animation as well. But just like my point of view on this, so I started doing with this one. And for example, the latest one with the ice cream, I try to do like main storyline, which is happening, that the police chasing the ice cream which just got melted. But on the top, I was trying to put a lot of small stuff which is happening in the same time. So it kind of like even motivates people to see it more time than just once. And I'm working on this short series. And right before that, I was actually working on the astronaut series,
Yeah.
which
Maybe I will show a bit of the astronaut, and let me say that Luis is saying that if you want to have your camera, you need to turn on your permission on Windows settings for Hangouts, if it can help. And we have few other questions from the community, but we will maybe answer them after.
So I have to on Hangout, but where can I allow it?
I don't know. Maybe when you are searching, I will display your latest astronaut videos, which is really fun.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Jack, check this out, man. Hold on, I gotta engage. Help me, please! Oh, Jonathan! Oh, buddy, I'll tell your wife.
Because I see myself on a Hangout now. I didn't see myself before. But you still don't see me.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you. People can
But
see you right now. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, so those astronauts videos basically oh, now it works. So those astronauts videos so now when you see me, hi guys. But so those astronauts videos are basically I'm combining multiple my interests, because except of animation and motion design, which I'm doing basically for around 9 years, I really like I love comedy. I always, when I was living in different countries, when I was living in Spain or London or now in LA, I'm always going to stand-up comedies and I'm enjoying humor. So I start, okay, let's try to combining more humor with animation. So, and also with storytelling, because a lot of people nowadays, they just like trying to do a lot of like nice frames and trying to get the mood. But I thought, okay, let's try to push my skills and let's try to force myself to bring the story. And also I start using a lot of more colors and bright environments, because it's a little bit harder for me to lit it. I was before doing a lot of dark stuff, and now I thought, okay, let's try to stretch my skills. Let's try to learn how to work with more lights and colors, and plus giving some point and ideally create emotion. So if basically someone see my video and make him laugh or make him feel something, then I feel it's kind of success. And what happened with those videos recently with the astronauts or even with the cars, the people start writing me back that they actually like have fun, or they start sharing the people. They some people came to me on some like motion design meetups in LA, and they told me that they are fans of my series, and I like that's that's something which I didn't experience with the commercial work. When I was working on the commercials, even though it was like nice sometimes or whatever, people do few likes or said it was great. But with my personal projects, I was able to establish like connections which I never established before. So it actually makes me feel much more fulfilled. I feel like this is much more important for me, and now I'm thinking, how could I possibly monetize it? How could I do something which I love and engage audience and make money out of it? That would be ideal goal. I'm not sure if it's possible, but I hope it is. So I'm just keep testing it. I'm keep trying to devote more time for personal projects, because as a lot of people say, and I'm sure most of you already heard, what you have in your portfolio is what people will be hiring you for.
Yeah.
And a lot of time the clients doesn't have the imagination that you can do more, and you can do more, but they don't know. And so how you labeling yourself, what you putting out there, that's how client will see you. So if you want to change what you are working on, you need to in the beginning sacrifice some time and just working on those stuff for free. And
Yeah, I agree with you. And we have a few questions in the live chat. Cannibal Osmos is asking, you say you are a freelancer, but most of the time do you work alone or in a team? And what's your preference? Is it modeling? Is it particles? Is it compositing?
That's a great question. I mean, I just switched freelance, it's about 2 months ago or 3 months ago. And since then I was working in 2 companies, because it also depends. From my point of view, I can now start freelancing home and I can start work remotely and I don't have to go out. But the problem with this, you don't meet new people necessarily. You just presenting yourself with work and you're hoping you will get more clients. But if I will, instead of this, if I will go work in the production companies, there's a bunch of companies around LA. So if I will go hire to go work and freelance there, I will meet new artists, which can be new inspiration, can be new friends, new producers. I will see new workflow, new pipeline. So it's I'm learning from it, and I'm taking something out of it, and hopefully I can help them and build the trust, because there's so many people, and you can. Oftentimes, those companies, they don't want you work remote on some bigger projects if they don't know you. So what is good to actually first go and meet the people in person, work with them on 1 project, 2 projects, and then even though if you would like leave the country, even if I would leave the States or you would leave the city, or you want to like one day move with your, I don't know, in the future, like family or something, and some village, and you want to work everything remote, you already built like the trust and the connections, and it's easier to work with those people. So right now I'm doing both. I'm working from home, or I'm also working on site, and the same thing with a team. When I'm working in the production companies, I'm working in the team. When I'm working home, it depends. I can sometimes I'm, for example, not modeler. I'm not big great modeler, so I have a few friends, and for example, Petr Bartoš is my friend from Czech Republic, and I'm always supplying him with work, and he's like doing amazing job, and he's much better and faster than me in modeling. So I'm like, I don't want to even compete with him when I know I can outsource it. So I can establish small teams. So it really depends on the type of the project. But otherwise, I'm trying to do comping, animatic animations. I mean, I can do projects on my own, but also I'm really enjoying to be part of the project, and that's actually really important, because before I moved to the United States, I was working a lot alone, maybe too much alone. And then when I got here, I realized that if you're working in a team, you just have to you need to use slightly different skill set, because you need to really the communication is such a huge thing, because a lot of artists, they mentalize, they oftentimes think something in their head and they don't express really well what they mean, and you need to really have crystal clear communication to avoid unnecessary work, and to don't sometimes people two works on the same things, and then one thing his work is better, second thing his part is better, and then you have to figure out which part is going to be used, and there can be like a lot of bumps on the road. So really, like, as soon as you can, start really working on the collaboration, putting ego aside, like be humble, like be optimistic in your environment, like be like the positive energy kind of there, because oftentimes when you have some people who are in the team and they struggling with something and they just like start bitching around and being super negative, they become contagious to the team and the people start feeling a little bit negative energy. So there is much more things involved, and it's definitely harder to work in the team. But if you learn it, it will unlock you much bigger opportunities and capability, because you can do much bigger scale projects which you could never ever do on your own. So yeah, it's definitely those skills, like, learn as soon as you can, like learn English, learn communicate well with people, and learn that your work, even though you think is the best, I'm not saying that this is what I'm thinking, but I mean, sometimes people just feel really attached to what they did, and the clients say no, and you start hating the client. But sometimes there's a bigger picture, and you shouldn't take personally that they don't use your work. Sometimes you just lose some week of work or animation, and you just have to kind of get detached from your work, even, or you can just use it in your personal reel or something. But so those are kind of like basic rules, which I would like tips, which I would give you, which I believe are kind of global
Yeah,
in this industry.
really nice tips, and maybe it can help. A question from Walid. I'm just guessing, but I guess Walid is starting or working at home alone. I don't know, but he says how we can motivate to work every day. I guess maybe he's alone
Uh,
on this side. I don't know, but
yeah, have you seen what was it? So how to motivate someone where to start? How we can motivate to work every day?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
um, I mean, with this industry, how I started in industry, I was doing animations because I enjoy them, and I was enjoying getting better and learning. So first of all, you should kind of like this industry. Unfortunately, uh, I experienced a lot of crazy overtimes over my career, and I feel the passion is kind of important. So first, I hope you are enjoying what you are doing, and if you want to motivate yourself, you should find kind of interest. Like, let's say you like some visual style, or you really admire this kind type of movement, or you really want to do satisfying loop animation, or something which you like enjoy, and it could be challenge for you to work on it. And then it can motivate you to like do it and to understand how someone built it. It's good to also get inspired. I'm always saying get inspired, but try to don't copy. If you just copy one-to-one something which already exists, it's just learning technical skills. But if you want to a little bit push yourself or challenge yourself, it's always great to see, let's say, like you will find some artist and he using amazing colors, and you're like, wow, this is really interesting, works really nice together. Maybe I could use those colors, but maybe you can use absolutely different scene and absolutely different geometry, and you can like have even different mood. But you can just use the color palette of someone which you want to test it or play with it, how it looks. So watching stuff which you like and which could motivate you, it's a good way how you can motivate it. And every day, you don't have to work every day necessary. I mean, if you can build this routine like people and Stuzer and other people have, it's great. But if you don't work every day, it's also fine. I mean, just work as much as you need, and as depends what your goals, and if you are happy in what you are doing. But I don't necessarily say you have to work every day, even though I kind of work a lot.
yeah, more question. Yeah, I can pronounce your name, but Jasvir,
Jan.
I guess.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was talking about
Yeah,
this guy.
sorry.
I can say Jan. Is that
Yeah,
Jan or Jan?
it's Jan.
Jan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jasvir is asking, are you planning on staying in LA permanently? And I will add, if yes, why will you stay? And if not, why will you move?
It's a good question. It's a really good question. And my plan was actually come to LA for a year or 2 years, make as many contacts as I can, make as much money as I can, and then move back to Prague in Czech Republic, which I absolutely love. I really, it can be cold in the winter, but it's like beautiful city, and it's much cheaper. So I could be living, working remote in my hometown with all those contacts, and with the money which I made, I could maybe buy some apartment. But there happened like one problem that meanwhile the apartments in Czech Republic tripled the price. The Czech crown got stronger towards the American dollar, and also I don't really feel I explore LA as I would like, because in LA there is like so many people, there's like so many great artists, like amazing artists. There is a lot of cool companies. There is great meetups. I met multiple times, like uh, I met like G-Monk, I met Ashtorp, I met Andrew Kramer. I'm going drink with people, and like you meet like those people. I could never meet them in Prague or in Czech Republic, and being here giving me access to all kind of brands. I mean, I could go to Elastic, where used to work Patrick Clare. I can speak with their designers. I'm here at the mill, so LA is really great from this point of view. On the other hand, I mean, I guess a lot of people here in this chat could be from Europe or around the world, but I really miss European culture. It's really different. It's really different than in LA. And I'm not saying that Americans are not good people or anything, but I just like it's different. I mean, I'm even like France, Paris. It's just like it's loaded with culture. It's loaded with history, and LA is everything is new and it's just pure entertainment. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay here, because there is definitely things which I don't like here. But in the same time, the sunny weather, I can anytime, any day, I can cycle to work, or I can go for a run, I can go for hikes. There is really accessible nature. You can go to swimming pool, you can go to ocean, you can go surf every morning. The lifestyle here, it can be really great. It depends how you set it up, but it can be great lifestyle here. So I didn't decide yet, to be honest. I can't even see myself living half year in Czech Republic, half year in States, and like flying back and forth one day. Because definitely any place that I was living, it can give you something new and something else.
Yeah, so much to see, and I'm actually in this situation that's some personal stuff, but I was at the moment excited to move elsewhere, maybe to LA, make the same choice like you, but I chose to move in another part of France, so I will leave Paris to have bigger house and all that stuff. And I guess that's the worst part in big cities, is if you want to have a house, you can forget about it. And if you want to buy something, you will end with a little flat. So
yes, exactly. You are right. So where do you move in France?
In the middle of France. It's called
Nice.
Auvergne.
Yeah, I know, but that's yeah, you are right. You're absolutely right. That's at the end of the day, it's all a matter of your priorities. And if people want to have bigger access to nature, or if you want to have more space, if you want to have a garden, if you want to have your privacy, this is like also playing the huge role. And it's luckily for us, I think our generation are already in the point that we can work remotely, and in our industry we can work anywhere where you are. So it's really good times for us, because you can really like, if you establish a great network, you can be anywhere on the world, and anywhere where you feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's the great point.
Yeah, because LA is expensive as F, because it's like all the money which I was trying to save here for like coming back and buying house in Czech Republic, it's just sometimes I have to stop recalculating, because even just going out for drinks, just calling the Uber and then a few drinks and going back, it's like more money than I spent for a week in Czech Republic.
Yeah, and you have all the problems that you have in big cities. I came from Paris, and I had in mind that you get more space and less traffic in LA. And when we came to LA, it's all big traffic, big.
No, the LA traffic is super annoying. Like people just travel from point A to B, and the highway, 6-lane highway, full of the cars. It's like mad. So I decided to don't get crazy. I decided to ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. So I moved I moved kind of nearby to the mill when I was working over 2 years, and I just bought a nice bike and I just start cycling. I found the bike lane and I just start cycling to work, and I was just like ignoring the traffic. And then when I had to go like somewhere further, I just call Uber and I'm just on my phone and I'm catching up with the people or Instagram or messages or Facebook. So I'm trying to be productive. So I'm trying to don't feel stress and in the car. And when I'm driving, because I had I had a really bad car accident, so I lost it. But when I'm now occasionally borrowing or renting car, I always listening podcast or learning or trying to study. I'm just like trying to be efficient in the
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, I feel that. Lopolo AV Production is asking, will you switch from AE to Nuke for 3D compositing stuff, or you feel okay with AE?
It's a good question because I am the After Effects user for over 10 years, like 11 years. And I think it's amazing what you can do in this software, and the community around it is amazing. And with the plugins, you can really like, I used to work on movies in After Effects before they switched it to Nuke, but it was possible. So it gives you like a huge amount of possibilities. But on the other hand, unfortunately, dear Adobe, they don't improve the software really well. I mean, the 3D space doesn't work there. The 3D compositing, like when you have multiple passes, when you import, like let's say 7 different passes, and then you up version in Cinema 4D or whatever, and to replacing all those passes, it's like so complicated and long in After Effects. In Nuke, you have just like the up versions. It's much more built for it, the color space. So I'm not planning to switch anytime soon, but I'm not surprised that people switching to Fusion or Nuke. I know a lot of people, even at the Mail in motion design department, who are using Cinema 4D with Nuke, just because it's better for comping of 3D. It is, and I hope I hope the Adobe will change it. I hope they will improve After Effects and they will improve the way how we work with the multipasses, how we work with EXRs, make it faster. Because right now it sucks. And but I will stay with After Effects for now. I'm not planning to switch because I'm thinking about Houdini. I'm thinking about Unreal Engine. So I don't want to learn all those, and I don't want to learn Nuke also. It's just like there's so many softwares. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. I feel you, and I feel that many AE users like really love the software, but yeah, they just want these few basic things to be improved because all the software is really amazing.
Yeah, no, the software gives you so much possibilities. So I hope they will keep improving. It'll be great. And yeah, I just see quickly. Jakub was asking about sound design and projects. And the thing is, with my sound design, my personal projects, I usually tend to collaborate. I know a couple of sound designers, and I'm always trying to think which sound designer would be great fit for the which video, and I'm asking if they are available. It's passion projects, so I'm really grateful. I'm super thankful. Those guys are usually like just help me for free or like for credit. And I really hope I will eventually be making money with those stuff and I can be like paying all this stuff. But right now it's kind of small collaboration projects. And so I usually have a custom sound. And yeah, this is kind of sensitive topic, not sensitive. This is really dependent because the sound designer have to have kind of feeling as you are, because you have some vision and you imagine the sound, how it could kind of work. So it's good to know the person and kind of like do a few projects together, and we'll see if it's gonna click or not. And yeah, it's I was, for example, now also in Vancouver on Blend Festival. There was like amazing sound designer. He was like explaining how he approaching his projects, and he was recommending other sound designers. So it's always good. It's the audio gives like at least 50, maybe 70% of entire expression. So audio is really important with video. So it's good to don't underestimate it, and it's good to like try to have as good audio as you can.
Yeah, all the audio guys will let you know that audio is more than video.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true, and they working on it more of the time, usually shorter time than the video, but yeah, everybody says so. It's
Yeah, maybe you can share your screen if you can and display some of your work, maybe,
yeah, let's do it.
and we will go back at the really end with the Q&A because it can
Yeah,
be endless, but I feel that.
yeah, no, I can definitely see. Okay, let me do. How can I switch it? How can I share my screen? So I will go here, share screen. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. We can see your
Yeah.
screen.
Okay. So I will, for example, from the later projects which are not on my Instagram, which you couldn't see, is if I will go to Behance on my account. I'm not sure if it's gonna be playing real time when I'm sharing the screen, but there's like big sci-fi project. I don't know if you have the chance to see it.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's called Archive. It's like 20 minutes, so I can like scrap
Whoa.
through. I will like maybe like go to some opening scenes. So I'll turn off the sound, and so this is a project which we actually did, which is like live action movie, and it was like big team at the Mail, and in this movie we are actually using Cinema 4D for combining with the real shots. So now we can see there's like bunch of like all kind of different shots when we were, for example, use the drone footage above some like abandoned factory, but then we are doing extension and we are adding like here like all those cables and stuff are basically in 3D, but it's on top of the just on top of the live action movie. And we did it's like a short movie which was opening movie for off 2018 or yeah 19. It was actually this year. It was 19, and it was like big team. It was like 8 people full time, and then we have a bunch of other people working remotely, and basically all the designs and the graphics and here if I will scroll down a little bit, I don't know if you see it real time. I hope you can.
Yeah, we can see it near
Like
real time.
good, yeah, like so this is like bunch of different like shots. I was, for example, here working on those kind of towers in the desert, and here was like a really talented artist, Sasha Vinogradova and Kyle Moore. They were like designing this like roof on like on the building, and so
It's really cinematographic. And do you think one day you will move maybe from motion to cinema?
This is kind of funny because I started at cinema actually, because after school I was working at the movies for 2 years, and the problem with cinema, with the big cinema, there is so many people involved. There is like this producer is super hired, then is the director, then he has like VFX supervisors. Then if you're working with some big company, which like MPC, the Mail doesn't do like a double negative frame store. There's like so many people involved that I personally felt it's really hard to get the freedom there to do what you would like to do, unless you are on a higher position, unless you are already not even the lead, but maybe like VFX supervisor or creative director. And because I was working on so many movies which I didn't enjoy, and sometimes the movie is for a year, 2 years, so you can work 2 years on something which you don't enjoy necessarily. So it's kind of hit and miss, and I decided to leave, even though the best shots and the best like one of the most beautiful things and scenes which we can see are in the cinema and are in the theaters. And I have a bunch of friends, even here I see on the chat like Pavel, Vichik and like other people. I know a lot of friends who are really successful and who are working on the movies. But yeah, from me, I realized that I I want a little bit more flexibility and more like trying different things and different outlets, and these commercials kind of give me these short turnarounds. You can quickly do something, and either you like it or not, and it's done, and it's something new. And but this was like, it was fun also, like working on this. So
Yeah, it looks really amazing.
yeah, I'm not planning to go back to cinema, but yeah, you are right. Actually, it's interesting. This was like really fun. I mean, I was working with one of my favorite artists, Busan Kang, Sasha Vinogradova. I mean, you can check the movie, and here you can see some. You can see even some like breakdowns. This was like my shots where I was like doing all the tracking in Cinema 4D. I had to like the match move, and then because I started working on the movies when I was starting my career, I kind of like knew how to proper comp, how to, you need to always first match the blacks to each other, like the black colors of your 3D and black color of the real footage. Then you need to adjust the whites and the temperature of the white, and eventually playing with the gamma and like midtones. So that is like the way how you are supposed to comped basically the 3D into 2D, and yeah, it was actually this was actually a really fun project. It was like 4 months with one of my best friends and my coworkers. But this is like unicorn. These projects are not happening often. There is like no company which would be doing these projects like regularly, I feel, because we had like so much freedom in this. Because if you work with big movies, you will give up the decisions to the people who are doing the pre-production, the people from it's. And if you work on small movies, like independent movies, there is no money, so they won't pay you full movie or visual effects. So it's kind of like balancing it out, and always once in a while you can get this kind of like amazing project, I feel. But you can see like even like iterations when I start like the modeling, then like improving the modeling of the tower.
Is it online? Can we see the Behance, or is
Yeah, the Behance is not online.
Okay.
I'm showing you right now because
it will be online soon, maybe?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
actually it's going through the film festivals now,
Okay.
so we are not allowed to publish it yet.
Okay.
So I can show you here, but it's not online. But if you want the movie by itself, it is online. So you can go, if you write archive. If you write archive, it's ARXIV. The mail, it's like you can like open here on Vim, and it's like public, so you can like watch it. The story is a little bit hard. It's a little bit abstract story, so don't feel upset if you're not gonna follow it. It's more about from our director Ilya Abukanov. It's more about like kind of setting the story, but I will show you some of the shows like we did like full of 3D trains and 3D city, and so there was like few really interesting shots for sure. Like this shot is like really like this shot, like entire 3D. So yeah, this was kind of interesting experience for sure. And compared to this, yeah, then when I'm doing like a small loop animations on Instagram, it's like another world. But that's how wide can go our industry. Like, question is where ends motion design and then start VFX, because this is like more VFX short movie, but still the people who were working on it were motion designers.
Yeah, that's one of the great points. If you do a bit of 3D, you can work in video games, apps, films, motion design. It's pretty easy to test few things.
Yeah, no, it's true. And also I noticed, for example, now you mentioned the games. I saw in the chat someone was asking there about the game, if the cars could be game. And now when you mention the games, I actually, if I will go on Instagram, or maybe I will show you now. Let me show you. I'm working now on new animation with the cars. I still didn't finish the look and stuff, but it's gonna be this kind of like crazy small world, which is gonna be running in the loop, and there's gonna be the constant city recreating. And I'm just like kind of testing and exploring right now, playing with this small car series. And actually, a lot of people ask me about the game, so I already start speaking with the game developers, and I'm not trying to, this is like not announcement or anything, but I'm considering to start developing the games if I'm gonna meet the right people, and even stretch more like my interests, and not just do not just do like animations, but also do interactive stuff. Yeah, you're right. I can't turn off the sound. I'm not sure. Do you hear it with the sound or without when I'm playing the videos?
I think
I'm just not sure if I can speak through the videos or if I shouldn't.
yeah, launch it and I will tell you if we have
Yeah. So
yeah, that's nice. We don't hear the sound.
yeah,
That's perfect.
okay. So those kind of things for me, it was just like I was really enjoying just kind of like adding small details, and some things is dynamic, like the physics, like when he's hitting those cones, and which could be like maybe tricky for a mobile game. I'm not sure about the engine, but there's like a lot of physical destructions, like when he hit the bus stations, even when he hit the bike. A lot of people didn't notice, but when the van go or the police, they hit the bike and the bike fly away. So I'm just like was enjoying to like, playing with those details and physics, and a lot of people actually they were asking for the game. So could be interesting. I was even thinking to play with VR. I was thinking to take my astronaut series and maybe convert them into VR, and it could be like flying with the videos and like be part of the story somehow, and switching the angles of the view. So also I'm like testing, this is for example fake AR, or I call it fake AR because it's not AR, but this is like AR could work eventually.
Well, I really enjoyed this one too.
Yeah, thank you. So I actually would like to start also playing more with live action and animation, because I used to always love it, and even in some of my old work you can see it. But recently, for a long time, I was doing everything in CG, but I always enjoy also live action. So I might go back to this. The question is, there is like so many things which we can do nowadays, and so many like when you can try to aim for like doing the stuff for Instagram campaigns, or you can try to do like short movies, or like the opening titles, which are really trendy between motion design designers. You can try to go to movies. You can try to do motion design for movies, like Territory Studio, which is doing just user interfaces and just the graphics. So it really depends on what you want to do. I, for example, enjoy. I'll show you on Vimeo. I really enjoy sometimes. This is, for example, was test. I was collaborating with my friend Jejun on Houdini simulation. He was doing the Houdini simulation, and we was trying to set up the mood and do something like kind of cinematic. And I was just like doing this explosion of the house, and I was hoping to do like some short movie with it. But then I realized it's actually taking so much so much energy to create like this kind of like heavy simulation stuff for personal projects. It's just like really time consuming, but at least we have this kind of like a small fun clip. But this is like from my dark era. I'm sometimes doing like dark stuff, sometimes bright stuff, as I said before, just to kind of stretch my skills. I can. It's kind of shame it doesn't have a. No, I'm probably not gonna play it. I have like the animatic, which I had like for a short movie, which I never finished. But I don't think you would see it with the sound, which would be kind of shame without. But I will go through some projects more, because yeah, it's true we're talking a lot about the theory, but let's show more stuff. Where is my IMAX? yeah, this project was, for example, fun at the mill. I get the chance to work on it basically on my own, and then I got like 2 free people for assist me, so I could like. It was interesting to change the role that you are actually working on something, you have a vision, and then the people kind of like now helping you to create it. Of course, there was still a creative director above me, but I'll play it now. So yes, this project, for example, I really enjoyed. I don't know if you see like real time, so I'm kind of like, I don't know how many stuff I should be playing like this, but
Yeah, we can see it.
is it okay? The
It's okay.
playability?
It's okay.
Yeah. So then there's some like older stuff. I'm not sure how much people are not familiar with some like of my older work, because there's like a lot of things which I kind of enjoy to working on like while ago, and I'm kind of like in my head it's already kind of like too old to show, but maybe someone be interested in. There is, for example, one of the newer projects which I was also combining live action and CG. This one could be actually good with audio, but let me know if the audio is coming in when I play it. Do you hear audio?
I can't hear audio.
Can or cannot?
Cannot.
Okay, so I'll be speaking through it. It's fine. So I'll turn audio. So this was like the commercial which we did for Audi, which was launching new electric car. And they told me, okay, we're gonna have like a lot of live action shots, but we need to do basically all this work around, like all this like the motion design and the graphics, and even like when she's like touching the display. So I will just keep playing it, and so it was interesting challenge to fit CG world, which is building around the real car with real camera movement. So you need to track it, you need to like make sure everything fits, then design all the graphics and all the displays. So those kind of projects are actually, you have to be in the bigger companies. So again, like, and as an individual, I don't see someone will give you a project in this scale, because this was like big budget. There was like so many work which you don't even see. There like replacement of the skies, replacement of the mountains. There was like a lot of CG people like polishing the car, changing the lights and details. So those projects are definitely interesting. I can even show you here if I will go on my Behance. There's a project about it. I mean, we started. Maxim Houdin is like super talented art director. He was doing first like some visual exploration and some of these kind of like virally looking style frames, and after that he like created like this kind of like basic environment, and from the environment I started doing like the particle test. I was using Cinema 4D, X particles. I actually did, if you would be interested in, check out, there's gonna be SIGGRAPH. If you type SIGGRAPH 2019 on Sladecko, I will maybe I can put the link to the chat. There's actually a presentation where I was speaking this year on SIGGRAPH, and I'm like showing kind of like a lot of stuff, how I build for this specific project, how I was figuring out the laying down the particles, changing the background. Plus, I'm talking about a lot of other stuff. I'm talking about my astronaut series, how I was creating. So if you are more interested in technicalities, I definitely would recommend to see those kind of stuff, because I usually on my speeches like always speaking about latest projects and about the biggest technical difficulties there. So I will put the link in the.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Maybe for the last 5 minutes, we can answer few questions by the community. So let's choose few ones. Sorry everybody if we can't answer every question, but
It
let
is.
me.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
put it.
there's a
Put it chat.
question interesting by Theo. He asked, I wanted to have your point of view from your experience at the beginning of your career. What do you think about being a specialized artist or generalist artist? Thanks.
Wow, I need to process the question. Where was it? I wanted to have your point of view from experience at the beginning of the career. What do you think about being specialized artist or generalist artist? Is another good question. I personally, I will go definitely for generalist because I had the chance to work like on all different kind of type of stuff, and when you like know, first of all, I'm kind of enjoying to being part of the entire project. Like I can be from the beginning till the end. I know that I can be in the pre-production. I can do animation. I can do composition on myself. I can do some basic 2D graphics and stuff. So I enjoy the overall pipeline, and then eventually, if I will get like as I'm gonna be getting older and getting through experience of the career, if you know how works entire pipeline, if you develop eye for animation and movement, if you develop eye for the graphics and lighting and colors, you can go towards the creative direction role or VFX supervisor role. So then you can oversee the bigger projects, or you can like oversee multiple artists. And again, as I said in the beginning, you need to work on your communication skills. You need to work on working with the people. You need to developing your eye. But then you can move up. If you are a specialist, then the route is gonna be slightly different. You will go to vertical line. So it means you can have like amazing, like you will become like the super professional for something. But I have, for example, friends, and they are like grooming artists. So the only thing they will be doing, I don't have any example here, but only thing what you'll be doing would be just hair or just fur or animals, and then you are in quotes stick with this for the rest of your life. And of course you can slightly change it, or you can do like more stuff, or you can do just explosions. And if you love explosions, if you want to do like the most beautiful explosions, learn Houdini and do just explosions and get the best in it. But I changing like my perceptions. I sometimes you can see I'm doing the playful stuff, like game looking stuff. Sometimes I'm trying to do it with storytelling. Sometimes I can do like the dark, like absolutely like different mood. So the being general is kind of like giving me this flexibility, I feel. But again, depends what you want to do. I mean, it depends what you consider specialist. I mean, there is people who work in motion design industry, like in Man vs. Machine, who were using Houdini, and they are still kind of generalist, even though they use really deep knowledge of the Houdini. So they could be considered as a specialist. It's also that the area, it can be a little bit blurry sometimes. But yeah, I think that I would say that for the question. I don't know if I answered it. Yeah, and a lot of work around as part of a big cinema. You can't feel you touch so much what you need. I'm not sure if I understand the question. If it's mean that I can touch everything in Cinema 4D. I'm not sure if I understand the question perfectly, but for example, with Cinema 4D, the issue can be that you can hit the limits. You can hit the limits of the software, and then you need Houdini. And now I was facing actually decision: do I need to start learning Houdini and go to vertical and really go to super deep to the knowledge, or it's better for me to meet people who are actually using Houdini and they are great artists, and I can work on the vision, and I can maybe work on the oversee the project and be like the brain of the operation, and like find some artists who actually can do some stuff, which I can then take from the Houdini, export it as Alembic or anything, and bring it into Cinema 4D, playing with the camera, playing with the pace, playing with the lighting. And actually, I'm enjoying this kind of stuff. I'm enjoying the putting the puzzle together. It's kind of like, in a way, like 3D kit bashing, that you have just like different assets, or like 3D comping, I would call it, that you can then take the VDB stuff, and that's where it's kind of like, I would go to creative direction more. But yeah, again, this all depends. What do you want to do? The next question: what is working with Ilya like? Ilya is a fucking genius. He's like a really amazing guy, and at the same time, he's really demanding. So the work with him can be tricky, and it's really hard to see to his brain. But no, it's definitely experience to work with him, for sure. We don't hear the Instagram. Nice. Did you learn to create this? How did you learn to use the dynamics? And also, there was some question about London. Why did you leave London? I left London because of my ex-girlfriend, because she left. She didn't like London, so I tried to save relationships. I left London as well, and I'm always happy to visit. I was there a few months ago, and I think it's a really cool place to be. How did you learn to create these dynamics? Just over time. There's a lot of great tutorials on from Chris Schmidt on Grayscale Gorilla, or maybe even someone I designed. But I would say really dynamics in Cinema 4D. Your person is Chris Schmidt for sure. And what for beginners? What I'm telling the people who actually asking me question for beginners, I'm always recommending them, if they want to do motion design, I'm always recommending them to go to Grayscale Gorilla, Video Copilot, iDesign, and just like see some tutorials, see something which you like, and try to use some technique from the tutorial. But let's ideally try from the beginning, use the technique, but use it already with your vision. Like try to already, okay, I will use this technique, but I will combine it with like another idea, or I will use this tutorial and this tutorial, and I will create something new with combination with both of them. That's how I was starting. I was constantly trying to combine multiple things together. And if you are doing this, then you become original and you start learning, and eventually you will be adding. Eventually, you will be less using tutorials and more combining your techniques that you learned from the past, and you start developing your stuff, and then you don't ask how to do it, but what do you want to do it, and why you want to do it, and but that's like over the process. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you everybody for being here. Thank you again, Jan, for being here and for answering all those questions, for all your great work. Do you have latest words, maybe upcoming projects that people should know about, or something you will do in the future? How people can stay connected with your upcoming stuff?
Oh yeah, thank you. I mean, for in terms of this, I was working on my astronaut series. I hope that if people interested in and gonna keep supporting the series, I'll be working on more episodes. They're a bit time consuming, but I want to keep developing the humor, visual humor. Then I will be probably, you can see in the future, I'll be experimenting with few different styles. And right now I just left company after a long time. I start freelancing, and I start freelancing because I want to be able have more time, not more money necessary, but I want to have more time, more free time to my stuff, and exploring different venues, exploring VR, exploring games engines, and we'll see. I mean, it's kind of like blank canvas, and I'm definitely excited to keep exploring this industry and do work on some new interesting collaborations. I don't have like exactly fixed way what I'm gonna do now, but I'll definitely try to be creative with it. And yeah, feel free to get in touch. And I would just say, going on, it's fun to go on all kind of motion design meetups, meet new people. Don't feel afraid to reach out people. Don't be afraid to get inspired, but be kind of humble about it. Don't don't be cocky on the internet, and don't steal.
Yeah. And don't worry, for all the people that came now, a replay will be available. So do not hesitate to watch the video if you came in the middle, or if you just came now. Do not hesitate to watch it. Thank you again, Jan, and thanks everybody. Bye.
Yeah. Goodbye, guys. Take care.